It was a great start of the day for me because the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Capp, finally decided she was going to resign and not stand for re-election. Here's a bit of what she said in her media stunts this morning about that decision.
I feel so honoured to have been part of Team Melbourne, everybody that works here at the City of Melbourne, traders, residents, stakeholders across the City of Melbourne, as we've worked really hard to revitalise this magnificent city of ours. Hardship out there for traders and residents in the City of Melbourne, and that important work must continue. But the trajectory is undeniably positive.
Sophie, that dress she was wearing, apparently she wore it on the day that she was sworn in as Lord Mayor 8 years ago and decided that she would put it on again today. She was all about through this whole period. And look, I have some sympathy that she had to run Melbourne during COVID. I give her that. But it's all been about photo opportunities, hasn't it?
Well, Steve, yes, she did have that difficult period during COVID and she had to come up against the Premier. But I would argue that she let a lot of businesses in Melbourne's CBD down during the pandemic. This is also the Lord Mayor that has, in my view, made it very difficult to get around the city. We are now got bike lanes that were battling. It's basically an un-car-friendly city. She was attending Invasion Day ceremonies. She was being chauffeur-driven around from, Town Hall down to Fed Square and saying that was okay. I think she did a lot of things where she was not practising what she was preaching. And I think a fresh start for Melbourne with a new Lord Mayor coming in when the elections are later this year can only be a good thing.
Daniel, she also took off to the Middle East to a climate change conference. And I think a lot of this bike lane stuff was unbelievably actually driven by their emissions targets that they set as a Melbourne City Council, thinking they could solve the world's climate. So they said, let's get cars out and then we'll be able to prove that our emissions have gone down, to the detriment of everybody who wants to use that city.
Well, it's been a period of total failed leadership. One of the worst Lord Mayors this city has seen. Whether it was the COVID failure, she actually said COVID was good for Melbourne, if you remember that. We'll tell that to the businesses and the workers who lost their jobs. There was the attempts to cancel Australia Day. One of her last acts was to institute the council voice to Parliament just after 60% of Australians had voted no to the voice to Parliament. There's the homelessness, double the rate of the statewide average, and she initially supported a drug injecting room, which has made the city a much more dangerous place. I can't think of anything that she has done good for the city.